Hello there, and welcome to the Potent Puffin podcast. I'm your host, Jake Thomas, and I hope everyone had a good Christmas this past week, and everyone's looking forward to the new year coming up. We're excited for uh, New Year's. Um, it's going to be a new year, going to be great. 2020 is finally going to be over, and looking forward to a much better 2021. And so that's exciting. It's been kind of a weird last week and a half. My mother-in-law tested positive for COVID, but she was asymptomatic, and I guess the tester said there was some kind of issue with the test, so they weren't sure how valid it was. So she went in the next day and got a negative, got another test, and it came back negative. So we've kind of still been doing quarantine to just in case the negative was the one that was false and not the positive. I don't want to take any chances there. So where I was supposed to have a lot of overtime during Christmas and New Year's, I'm now not working at all. But luckily, the police department has granted emergency leave for this, so I'm still going to be getting paid. So that's good. And I'm getting extra time with Kalsin and Brandy during the holidays, even though we are being stuck at home. But we're still finding things to do where we don't leave the house, or where we leave the house but we don't get out of the car, such as there was a uh, drive-in movie the other night. They played the Polar Express, and so we just made our own popcorn and took our own hot chocolate and did drinks that way. So we went and we did that. That was a lot of fun. First time any of us had done a drive-in, so that was cool. Kalsin behaved for most of it, so that was good. And then there was so usually every year the boats in the harbor, they all do this Harbor Lights Festival, where all the boats, they decorate up in Christmas lights, and everyone goes down to the harbor, walks around, looks at them. Well, this year, instead of that, they did it, but they spread it out over 3 days. But um, to start it off, they added a boat parade where all the boats that were participating, they went out and then one by one came in through the channel and redocked. And so everyone's like parked up um, along the channel, and you could watch the boats come in. That was a lot of fun. Calson enjoyed it. Saw a lot of really cool boats. There's one boat that had the Grinch on it, which was probably Calson's favorite because he just absolutely loves the Grinch. And so that was cool. There was one boat that had fireworks, and it was the last boat, and that was cool. So that was a lot of fun. We all got in the car and went and did that, and we didn't have to get out of the car, so it didn't, really affect, us, being quarantined. And so we did things like that, and like yesterday we went out and we went for a drive, and we got out at a secluded beach where it was only us. So that was good because the whole staying in all the time is really hard, especially on Calson, because he just likes to, you know, he needs to be moving around, and it's hard to keep him shut up in the house for so long. So being able to do these things where we're still, isolated from other people, but still getting out and doing things has been helpful for us. And we went out yesterday on a drive out to Chiniac, went to a beach there and walked up to a few bunkers. And, the bunkers are always really cool. These ones were kind of like up on a cliff. One actually, you can see where one had actually fallen down because the cliff that it was on had eroded away, and so the bunker actually like fell and was like down on the beach. That was pretty interesting. I don't know how long it had been like that. I've not actually been to that part of the beach. I've been to that beach before, just not this particular part of the beach, so it may not be something new, but I don't know. But it's interesting. Um, I love finding different bunkers here. Just really helps, you know, observe and appreciate the history of the island. Because the bunkers are there from World War II. A lot of World War II took place on the Aleutian chains. Very little of it, I believe, actually made it to Kodiak itself, but it was here. So that's always interesting to look back on and reflect on. And so, and other than that, we had our Christmas, we did Christmas, and Kalsin had a lot of fun. He got pretty much everything he asked for. Of course, the first thing he opened, he didn't want to open anything after it because he was too busy wanting to play with that particular toy. But then he got around to opening everything else, and it's just like he'd spend like 5 minutes on one thing, then 5 minutes on the next, and he just kept like making circles around everything. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed just watching him and see how happy he was. He was so excited when he saw that Santa came, because before he went to bed, he put out milk and cookies for Santa and carrots for the reindeer. And then, of course, he got up, and when he got up, the cookies and milk and the carrot were all gone. And so he was all excited, and he comes in the room, and he's like, "Daddy, Daddy, Santa came, Santa came." And it's just really fun seeing that excitement in his eyes. And so, yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, so Christmas was good here. So now we're looking forward to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I'm excited I get to go back to work on New Year's Day. So I'm ready to be back at work and not be doing the quarantine thing. But that'll be good coming back to work. So I'll still get to celebrate New Year's here with Kalsin and Brandy. I don't know if Kalsin will make it to midnight. He probably will, because he's been staying up that late anyways. He's kind of going through some weird cycles. Like, for a little while, he was like 9 o'clock. As soon as 9 o'clock came, he was going to bed. If he wasn't asleep, he was laying down, about to fall asleep at 9. And if he noticed that it was 9 o'clock, he would come to us and be like, "It's 9 o'clock. I need to go to bed." And now it's like he won't go to bed. Like, he wants to stay up all night. And he was doing good staying in his room, but now that Christmas is over, he's decided he needs to start being in our room again. So we're kind of still working with that. He's going in and out of if he wants to be able to sleep in his room by himself or not. So we're still working on that, but it's coming along. And so, yeah, that's that. We had some good prime rib for Christmas dinner, and fed some of that to the dog. And I think because she was chewing on the bones, I don't know if she got too much of the meat or something was wrong with the bones, but it made her a little sick. But she's feeling better now. But that was not the best thing to wake up to this morning, but she seems to be feeling much better now. And so then Kalsin got these bogs with Bigfoot on them, because he's really into Bigfoot. And so we thought, oh, we'll get these bog boots with this Bigfoot pattern on them, and he'll like them. He'll want to wear them. When we're trying to get him to wear them, and he won't put them on, because first he said they were only for when you go Bigfoot hunting. And then he was afraid that if he wore them, that it would attract the Bigfoot to him. And he didn't want Bigfoot, which is before he was kind of acting like Bigfoot was his friend, and now it's like Bigfoot's not. So I'm trying to figure that out, if how he views Bigfoot. Maybe it's different Bigfoots he views as friends and some aren't, which I guess could make sense. Kind of makes me want to write like a little satirical Bigfoot guidebook based on everything he's told me about Bigfoot, because he tells me some weird things. Yeah, like right now he's telling me there's no Bigfoot. And so he tells me all these interesting things about Bigfoot. And so I kind of want to write like a semi-satirical Bigfoot guide based on what he tells me. I think it'd be funny. Like the other day he was telling me that, first he was asking me why camels eat Bigfoot. And then he was telling me that the camels shave Bigfoot before they eat him because they don't like his hair. But sharks will eat Bigfoot with the hair. And I'm like, first off, why are camels eating Bigfoot? Like, camels are not carnivores. Like, why would they be eating Bigfoot? Sharks, I could understand eating Bigfoot. That makes sense. But not camels. And so, yeah, that was kind of weird that he was telling me that camels were eating Bigfoot and that they shaving because they don't like the taste of his hair. I don't know where he got that, but it's kind of funny. I think it would be something interesting to put in a satirical Bigfoot guide. And yeah, but yeah, he wouldn't wear his Bigfoot boots because he was afraid that they would attract Bigfoot, and slash where they're only for Bigfoot hunting. So I had to explain to him that, you know, they're so he can go places that Bigfoot goes. Like they'll keep his feet warm and dry when he's out in the snow and cold and wet. But he's still kind of like, so maybe he'll decide to start wearing them. I don't know. But yeah. Then he was confused because we're calling them his Bigfoot boots, but they don't have toes. He's like, he thinks that they should look like Bigfoot and make Bigfoot prints, but they don't because they're just regular boots with Bigfoot pattern on them. So I don't know what he's thinking there, but it's interesting. And so then he got this gator golf, which was something that I had when I was about his age, and so that was really cool seeing him play with that. And it's like, man, I just brought back so many memories from when I was a kid playing that same game with my brother and sister. So that was cool, seeing that he enjoyed getting the gator golf. And so, you know, then we got him this little, like, I don't know, it's like kind of like you build like a maze for these balls and they go down and you can make different designs with it. And that's really cool because he saw it last year at the toy store and was playing with it, but we weren't able to get it last year, but we were able to get it this year. So that was cool. He was excited. Lots of fun playing with that. And he's in the background here just jumping off the bed, being crazy. Yep, he's running in place now. Yeah. So if you hear something weird in the background, that's just Kalsin being a crazy toddler. And, yeah, so he got that little ball maze track thing. So we've been playing with that, making different designs for the balls to run through. And he's been enjoying that a lot. But I think his favorite thing that he got was this toy shark, and it came with these little fish, and you can press the fin on the shark, and he opens his mouth, and he can eat those fish. And then he has like a little cutout in his stomach that you can open, and he dumps the fish out, so you can just keep eating things. And so he's been going around feeding like his other toys to the shark, and so that's been really fun. But he's like just goes around with the shark, and he's just swimming with this shark and eating all his other toys, and it's just awesome. He enjoys it so much, and I'm glad. And so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll catch you guys next week, and thank y'all for listening. And if you liked it, just please give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram. Check out my YouTube. It's the same audio with some Sharpie drawings of my Puffin. So just check that out if you want. And I'll catch you guys next week.